Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a beautifully classic fairy tale about a magical kingdom. It's the story of a very unique creature, and it's packed with some incredible, timeless lessons that, honestly, we can all use a little reminder of. So, let's jump right in. So, here's a question to kick things off. Can a fearsome, fire-breathing dragon actually be a kingdom's absolute greatest protector? It's a pretty great hook, right? I mean, usually, in stories like this, the dragon is the ultimate villain, the big bad monster that has to be slain. But as we're going to see in today's explainer, our expectations are about to get completely flipped upside down.
Okay, let's dive into our first section, the magnificent Golden Castle.
Now, before we get to all the drama and conflict, we really need to understand the stakes here. Picture this, a pristine, utterly magical kingdom. It's surrounded by these lush green forests and crystal clear, sparkling rivers. And right smack in the middle stands a magnificent golden castle. It's literally overflowing with precious jewels, and it houses this highly coveted, magical golden crown. It's basically the perfect picture of absolute wealth, peace, and serenity.
But, you know, every great treasure needs a guard. And that brings us to Draco. Draco is a massive dragon with shining red scales. He breathes literal fire, and he lives right at the castle gates. And naturally, absolutely everyone in the kingdom is terrified of him. I mean, his exterior is genuinely frightening. People see the fire, they see the scales, and they just immediately assume, okay, that's a monster. He is deeply, deeply misunderstood by the very society he lives in.
Which brings us to our next chapter. Section 2, The Greedy King Attacks.
Every good story needs a catalyst, right? A moment where all that peace is just violently shattered. And this really highlights the core conflict we're looking at. On one side, you have the greedy king from a neighboring land, and his sole motive is just to steal that golden crown and hoard all the wealth for himself. It's selfishness, pure and simple. But on the other side, we have Draco, whose entire role is just to guard the castle and protect it against that exact type of greed. It's a total clash of fundamental motives.
So the king charges in, full of arrogance, and shouts, "Move aside, dragon, the treasure belongs to me!" You can just hear the aggressive entitlement in that demand, can't you? He totally expects the dragon to either fight back like some savage beast, or just turn tail and flee like a coward.
But watch what Draco does here. He doesn't flinch. He just spreads those giant wings, holds his ground, and calmly states, "The treasure of the castle is not for those who are greedy." It is such an authoritative, powerful response. He doesn't match the king's anger or aggression at all. He just simply states the absolute law of the castle.
The tension right here is just fantastic. Let's break it down. Step 1, the greedy king attacks. He literally brings violence right to the front door. Step 2, Draco bravely refuses to fight back. This is huge, guys. The fearsome dragon actually chooses restraint over retaliation. Then step 3, instead of destroying the king, Draco breathes his fire to create this beautiful, glowing wall of protection around the entire castle. He takes his most fearsome power and uses it not to destroy his enemy, but to defend his home.
All right, moving on to Section 3, Lily and the Dragon.
Right at the absolute peak of all this tension, we get an unexpected hero. Enter Lily. She's a brave little girl who just wanders up to the castle right in the middle of this chaotic standoff. And the absolute most important detail about her? She is completely unafraid of the giant dragon. While grown men and entire kingdoms are trembling in their boots, this little girl, who basically represents pure innocence and courage, just steps right up to the gate. Lily looks up at this giant, intimidating, fire-breathing creature and says, so gently, "I know you are not a monster. You are protecting our kingdom." Just take a second to think about that. It's a moment of pure, unfiltered understanding. She sees right past those shining red scales. She sees past the terrifying fire. She sees Draco's true purpose. And with those few simple words of validation, the entire tension of that battlefield is just completely diffused. The ripple effect of what happens next is so crucial to the story. Hearing this kindness, Draco actually smiles, and then he completely opens the castle gates. And by doing that, something amazing happens to the greedy king. Lily's pure kindness completely disarms Draco, and Draco's vulnerability in opening those gates holds a mirror right up to the king's greed. Seeing all this, the king suddenly feels deeply, deeply ashamed of his violent, selfish actions.
Which leads us perfectly into Section 4, True Meaning of Strength.
This is where we hit the king's ultimate realization of what true treasure actually is. Spoiler alert,
It's not the jewels, it's not that magical golden crown. The real treasure? It's kindness, it's courage, it's friendship. And look, while you and I probably aren't fighting literal fire-breathing dragons on a Tuesday, we are all faced with moments where we have to consciously choose these exact virtues over our own selfishness.
Because of this profound shift in understanding, the whole society completely transforms. Draco isn't feared anymore. Instead, he becomes the beloved protector of the realm. Just a little bit of understanding and acceptance completely changed his role in the kingdom. And of course, as all good fairy tales go, the Golden Castle remains safe and happy ever after.
Let's let this central moral really sink in for a second. True strength is not in power or wealth, but in courage, kindness, and protecting others. This completely redefines what it actually means to be strong. Draco had immense physical power, the king had all the wealth and armies, but true strength, that was found in a little girl's empathy and a dragon's choice to protect rather than destroy.
Which leaves us with one final thought for you to take away. How will you show true strength and courage today? Think about how you can apply this timeless wisdom in your own life. Thank you so much for exploring this with me today, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.